Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am pleased to support this amendment. There may very well be details of language that could be improved, and perhaps one day we can have that discussion right now. But right now the conversation that we're having is really about where the power in this country is going to be. For those who oppose the amendment, power and money should overlap, and control over democracy should depend on how much wealth you have. And to the extent that even if you're not a natural person, if you're a corporation, if you're a legal fiction, if you've got enough money, you should still have the ability to exert political control over this democracy. I think that's a principle that would have astounded and horrified the Founding Fathers. For those of us who are trying to fight back on behalf of regular folks whose voices are being drowned out by the big money in elections, who are being turned off of democracy by the negative campaigns that are dumped onto the air by anonymous groups that they've never heard of, that hide who their real donors are, it is not good for our democracy. And to the extent that anybody thinks this helps free speech, take a quick look at the debate on climate change. It was not too long ago that a significant number of Republicans were willing to engage with us on climate change. John McCain campaigned for president on climate change. Susan Collins sponsored a bipartisan bill on climate change. Senator Mark Kirk voted for Waxman-Markey. Many Republican senators have come out in favor of carbon fees or carbon taxes. Many are seeing their states affected in dramatic ways by climate change. But since Citizens United was decided, the Republican Party has gone absolutely silent on climate change. And as we all know, a lot of that big money got spent not against Democrats in the first instance, it got spent against Republicans. This isn't necessarily a partisan issue. This isn't Republican versus Democrat. This is big money, billionaires and big corporations versus regular voters. And the first thing that the big money and the big billionaires and the big corporations want to do is to control the voice of the Republican Party and make sure that nobody in that party is willing to talk about climate change. It is a fundamentally preposterous situation when you've got NOAA and NASA and all of our armed services and every single major scientific society in the country and the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops and all of our major corporations realizing that this is so, but we can't get a single person from the other side of the aisle in the United States Senate to talk seriously about climate change right now. It's happening in all of our states. And yet we can't, because the power of that money, the power to threaten in elections, it's not just the ad that goes up, it's the power to threaten to put an ad up. It's the power to promise. It's that backdoor activity that will lead to corruption and that has silenced voices in our democracy, and we have got to solve it. We have simply got to solve it. We have spent nearly 250 years preserving this democracy. Some of us believe that it is an example to the rest of the world. I am an American exceptionalist, and I believe that. But we don't get to have America be an exceptional country just because we say so. We have to earn it in the way we behave. And if we take what people bled and fought and died for centuries and turn it over so that billionaires and big corporations can anonymously control this democracy that we have built, we have disgraced our generation. Is this the perfect solution? Perhaps not. I'm willing to engage on it. But let's not pretend that we don't have a problem in this country of anonymous, dark money shutting down real debates that we should be having and polluting our democracy and damaging our standing. So I look forward to working with colleagues who will address this in good faith, but let's not pretend that this is an issue of taking away First Amendment rights